Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Alright, today we are doing my entry into the fall barbecue cook-off. I'm doing a spit roast or rotisserie lamb. It is basically a great big metal rod shoved up a leg of lamb, put over a fire and turned around in circles. That's the basics of it. Now stay tuned to the end and make sure to watch, because do a little bit of a flashback on me being called out for this thing and watching Ed's videos. So have a look at that at the end. Yeah, you can catch a bit of the backstory there. Alright, so you saw me do up my marinade last night. If not, I'll throw a link up. Actually, it's going to be on that side. I'll throw a link up for the marinade. We're going to start by throwing the spit together, and then we're going to shove a great big metal rod up a lamb leg. Alright, away we go. Okay folks, I've borrowed a rotisserie off a friend for this one, so here I am just throwing it in together. Nice simple little setup. Beer keg as the firebox and a couple of rods. Simple. Alright, just lighten up a quick fire. Just start with a bit of pine just to get it going, and then I'm going to throw in jarrah, which is an Australian hardwood. Alright folks, here we are inside, cleaned hands, the fire's burning away merrily, and that's going to burn down to some nice coals for us. Alright, now being a joint in piece of meat, it makes it a lot harder to thread the rod through something like this. So I'm just going to start with my little boning knife here, and just going to poke the knife in the end of it, feel where the bone is. I'm always looking to keep it fairly balanced. I'm just going to poke it down the path that I want the rod to follow. Next up, I'll grab our rod. Just follow that path that we've opened up. Now, we get past it, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But it's not too hard. Alright. There we go. So we just want to position it on the rod where we want to have it on the cooker. Make sure everything's sort of balanced up. As I said, not the easiest bit, especially when you're working by yourself. Push that one up tight. Okay, now a couple of tools you don't standardly find in the kitchen. We're just gonna tighten up this end with a shifter or adjustable wrench for the Americans. Next up, we're using a piece of wire. Now I've just cleaned this off with lemon juice, just to make sure it's food safe, and the mild acidity of the lemon juice will do the job there. So I'm bringing it back over to give me a bit more balance. If I was Josh over at In Your Yard, I'd use some fancy wire twitching technique. He's pretty good with that stuff. Okay, I like to keep my outside seasoning very simple. I've got the injection to go in it, which is going to give it all the flavour it needs. This is just to help it develop a crust on the outside and give it that extra zing of flavour just on the outside meat. So we're just going to start with some salt, and remember folks, salt goes on the outside, not the inside. So plenty of salt, and just pressing it into the meat. And then some freshly ground black pepper. Alright, well I'll finish off doing the outside, flip it over, do the sides and that sort of thing, and I'll meet you back outside. Alright folks, here we are. The fire's burnt down, lost most of its flames. I've added in some lump charcoal, So we are ready to rock and roll. Once I get the meat on, I'm going to throw on some applewood that I've had soaking. Just add a bit of that applewood smoke to it. You know, just add another element to the flavour. So let's put the meat on. Okay, I'm going to keep a fairly high heat up just for this first part of the cook. Just let it build a bit of a crust up and just let it go, build the crust up, and then we'll start injecting after we've got that crust built up on the outside. So I'm keeping it down low, bit of heat to it, and we'll just get that crust going on the outside. And after that, then we'll start in with the marinade. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay everyone, here is our lovely marinade that we made last night. And as you can see, I made it up in a ceramic bowl, just so it's not going to react with any metal or anything like that, or plastic. Oh, that smells delicious. And it's going into a glass one with a lid because I'm going to have it outside for the injection. So I've just got a very fine mesh sieve that I'm putting over the top and just going to strain it through. Just use the basting brush. Make sure we get all the goodies out. Just let that drip off. Okay, now all of this, as I said in the other video, it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to use that in the onion jam that I'm going to make with it. And that way it's going to carry the flavour through the meat and across the onion jam. So they're going to be complementary. Alright, let's head outside and we can inject our meat and I'll show you where the meat's up to. Okay, as you can see, the fire's burnt down to just a low heat now, and I'm going to raise the meat up a little bit more just to keep the cooking time nice and slow. Alright. And our beautiful piece of meat. Isn't it gorgeous? You can see all the fat starting to render out, giving it a nice shiny glaze on it. It's running around the meat, it's covering up this section here which didn't have any fat on it. Now I'm just going to brush it across, get it on the end of the meat as well. Oh, there's nothing quite as good as watching a piece of meat turn around on a stick. Alright, we have our little injection tool. Just so we're injecting fluid. We'll just stop the spit and into the meaty part, right down to the bone. Let it have a bit of a turn. Then we got the other side up, and we will go into that side. Alright, and around we go again. We'll cover that up and we'll keep injecting as we cook along. As I said, I'm going to lift it up a little bit higher, just because I want it to slowly cook. I don't want to rush the process. I've still got a fair while before the kids are coming over for dinner, so I want it to cook nice and slow. I want it to render down all the fats inside the meat, and that's just going to be perfect. And with the injection, it's just going to keep it moisture inside the meat and just going to make it perfect for that. So I will join you guys again in a second, but it'll probably be a couple of hours later. Alright folks, and the onion jam rides again. This is going to be a side to tonight's dinner. And there they are, cooking down, getting delicious. Okay, brown sugar and vinegar in there, and we are just cooking it down till it's jammy. Alright everyone, the meat is looking fantastic. It's up to temperature, so I'm just got that lifted right up high. So that's going to stay warm while we work on the sides. And our sides are, to start with, a bunch of spuds in foil. So we will get them into the coals. Okay, so they're just sitting around the outside of the fire and we'll let them bake away. Alright folks, we do have a sweet potato in there now with the potato. See, two types of vegetables, James.
Don't you mean Dana?
Yeah, Dana as well. And now we're adding in some sweet corn. This has been soaked in water and left in the husk with the silks there. So that's just going to steam the corn inside of there. Alright, back in a bit. Okay, just while those veggies are finishing up, just going to undo this so we can get the meat off. As you can see, beautiful coating on the outside. That's just come from the injection and it's come out to marinate it. And we have a very hungry little grandbaby inside, so I'll get this in and then quickly we will join it with the vegetables. Okay, very last thing to cook tonight is some of my 2-ingredient flatbread, which I'll throw a link up for. Alright folks, how's that for some outdoor cooking? We have a beautiful leg of lamb roast, absolutely gorgeous.
You want to
We have all our vegetables done in the coals. Corn, sweet potato and potato. And we also have some flatbread to serve it up with. And some onion jam. Good stuff. So flatbread, onion jam, and a bit of lamb. You can't beat it. It's certainly better than someone's dried out Boston butt. And someone else agrees with me.
No, she's just hungry.
All right, so we don't need to be fancy. It's gonna be tender. It's gonna be juicy.
And some lamb? You do? What do you want? For these?
And she wants more, so it's obviously pretty good. All right, I'm going to plate it up and I'll join back with you in a second. All right, folks, there we go. We have some sweet potato cooked in the coals, some potato cooked in the coals, sweet corn cooked in the coals, our delicious rotisserie / spit roast lamb, and a lovely piece of skin there for me. With all the marinade oozed over it, some onion jam, and also some 2-ingredient flatbread. So there we go. That is the cooking. Yeah, as I said, hang around to the end, and I've got a couple of highlights of my interaction with this whole fall barbecue cook-off. But thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you know when I've got more videos coming along. All right, and now we go into my reactions. According to this little lass, this is the best barbecue you are gonna eat. So please whack a comment down below and show your appreciation for her. Is that good, Bubba? It's good?
You show how you eat? No, you give it to yourself.
You gonna feed it to Tina? No, you have some.
You eat it.
Oh, yum yum. Seriously, no, you can't be calling me out again. Not after that meatloaf, surely. What? That just makes no sense. How are we supposed to vote? What is he talking about? Ah, cool. It's the comments on your video. Thanks, MB. That makes sense now. What? No. He's not injecting salt into that meat, surely. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. Wow, that looks really dry. How do you manage to get a Boston butt that dry? I guess it's when you inject salt into the meat.